How are
Hi,
you?
Karen.
Hey, everyone.
All right. So today we're going to talk about. When everybody's ready.
Really ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You do that with plain film.
Special, I had some accounts, I forgot what do I have open to? Document.
Yeah, DocuSign, you're not using the one that's assigned.
I'll just let me know when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
I
was wondering where you were.
I'll wait.
I know you're not on the screen.
It's your hour. All right. Today we're going to talk about InfoStats, and really as part of that discussion, the bigger picture of being the local economist of choice for our clients, right? So if we go to just the basics of that conversation, what do we know about the real estate market and the types of markets we can be in? We hear terms all the time: buyer's markets, seller's markets, stagnant markets.
But when I hear buyer seller market, it's pockets, it's areas, because I have a listing that's in a buyer's market, seller's market, and then vice versa.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's
right.
not across the board.
It's not across the board. It's certainly not the same across the country, not the same across the state. It can be different from Beaufort to Snellville, right? And so those are the details we need to drill down into when we're talking with especially our seller clients, and trying to have that pricing discussion. What is the trend in pricing right now?
It's going down.
It's going down. And why is it going down?
Because we got way more sellers out there than we do buyers looking at
That and interest rate and just the whole world's upside down.
There's lots of factors that are driving that, right? So what do we define about, okay, come on, stupid thing. What do we define a balanced market as?
6 months of inventory.
6 months of inventory. Okay, this is awesome. All right, so
Technology's fun here.
technology sucks every time I try to use it. Balanced market, 6 months. And what does that really mean? 6 months of inventory, what does that mean?
Yes. Sell all of your.
No other listings came on the market. It would take 6 months to sell the inventory that's available right now. So what does that mean in terms of the number of buyers and sellers?
Whenever.
These are equal.
They're pretty
Equal number of buyers and sellers when we have a balanced market. So when we have a market that's not balanced and we have more buyers than sellers, what does that mean? What market is that? Seller's market, advantage to the seller. What are some of the aspects of that market?
Don't have to pay closing costs.
Clean offers, offers over asking price, drives the prices up. The demand is high and the supply is low. Advantage to the seller's market. Now the opposite of that is when we have more sellers than buyers, which we're kind of seeing right now, right? So who's the advantage to?
buyers.
Advantage to the buyers. And then what are offers look like in that circumstance?
They want everything.
Buyers want everything? Like what?
Closing costs,
Collision cost contribution,
Contingency.
contingencies, yeah.
sales contingencies, what else?
Your washer, dryer, your refrigerator, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more items still negotiable.
Yeah.
Special stipulations. All the things, everything's in the buyer's guide. Price reduction starts to drive prices down, which is what we're seeing. So can I just tell my client that?
No, you have to show it.
Gotta show it to them, right? We are a prove it to me society, right? When I hear a stat and there's nothing backing it up or nothing referenced, I'm very leery of that stat. And we get lots of stats with no reference to where the information came from. And so we have to have that information. And so that is part of why we want to get familiar with InfoStats or InfoSpark. Did it change or no?
Did it change the name?
Yeah.
I believe it has always been InfoSpark, but I think it's
Okay.
InfoSpark Stats. So I think we call it, we took Sparks out and called it InfoStats.
Okay. All right. So first, let's look at just some really fast and simple things we can do in FMLS before we go into InfoStats. Hey, Karen, can you see my FMLS screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm going to open Matrix sometimes. Can you see Matrix now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. All right. So let's just do a residential search on big area, right? So without doing anything else, what's one thing I know right off the bat? There is a lot of properties available in Beaufort.
Yeah.
I can remember when there was a third of that for the whole Northeast back in the crazy days of 2020 and 2021. So we got a lot of properties on the market. Now, if we select all, well, before we select all, let's go back to just active. All right, so here's the big price points. We can tell a couple of things. Yeah, column. Yeah, it's on market. Oops. $6 million. That's a nice list. What?
Yeah, but you know where it is. It's up there.
What am I doing wrong here?
Ah, yes.
D. Well, here's a good
I
question.
usually do days on market.
What's the difference?
The total, I think, calculates it all the way to closing, so the one, and then I think the days on the market is what you're in now.
And also if the total days have been, if it's been listed
Yeah.
and withdrawn and put back on, or if
Or-
there's a hold put on.
So it'll.
Change from
pull-
pending.
Yeah,
back
it'll
to
pull
active.
with you, okay, yeah.
So if it fell out of contract,
But, yeah,
but which one would you like?
let's try
Do
to
some
go.
argument.
Total. 1,800 days. Wow.
That one's a little-
Oh gosh, that's
Rock.
you know where that is.
Oh, that,
It's the lady that had that I lived on Rock Spring. She lives on Rock Spring.
So my old listing,
Yes,
that you, with the
I think
lake,
it is.
with the lake, that's crazy.
Is
Or
this
the
your old
lady
listing
that-
and you just never took it off the market?
Yeah, I get-
Maybe that right past the long driveway.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
that's what we do. That's crazy. Median days. of-
That's a lot of days.
Wow.
There's two properties.
You don't see that very often.
Why is there two? No, it's the
I'm
same square
Gary,
footage.
go put the other box up there and see what the difference is.
Okay. All right.
I thought I knew, but maybe I
There's
don't.
two houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One guy had one house. 2,400.
Okay, so does that show total days on market or this listing on market?
So the difference should be
Oh, I see now.
like
Okay.
the days on market, like for this one,
Yeah.
it should be, it was under contract or it was under a different status. And it has been active now for 6 days.
Okay, but if you list it, relist it, it's not gonna show all of those, it's just that listing.
Yeah, if you withdraw it and then you put it back within a certain time period, it's gonna still add it.
It won't add it for this listing number.
But if you pull it up, then you see the total.
But if you go to the history,
Why would it
you'll
do
see some
that?
total.
Do that? I'm sorry, it might be something.
That question could be asked about Sony.
Yeah. I mean, look at this one on Camp Branch Road.
Yeah,
Now, what else do we see over here that's kind of weird?
a lot of them, the price.
Prices. Increases.
Increases, I mean, yeah.
New construction, some are going up, some are going down.
Well, yeah, down here we got new construction. That's new construction. These two are not new construction.
That seemed to be the anomaly of the whole thing though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we can't sell it for 2 million, let's raise the price to 2 million.
Sure, why not?
We'll attract more buyers. So let's get down into price points where there's a bigger buyer,
That's crazy.
right? Because we don't have.
I remember when every house in Beaufort combined was $2.5 million.
Right.
Wow, those are the good old days. I
Yeah.
wish I bought them.
Yeah. Well, you know, Gary Keller says, buy them all today. So that 10 years from now, you're not saying when. Motion 2025. I'll buy 'em all then.
Wish I would have bought them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. He said that again at Med Camp this year.
Well, he's right.
He did. He usually even in the market. All right. Now, what's the trend?
Price
Why
decreases.
price reduction?
Price reductions, right? So you can just take a snapshot of this to share with your client about the Beaufort market, about the area around their address. So if we went in and we took 4012 Adler Circle, and if we did a new search,
That's pretty new.
4012 Adler Circle. Yes, I did mean that. All right, and let's say I just picked a radius of 3 miles around that. That's a lot. 107 active listings within 3 miles.
Look at all, and half of them have reductions. Well, they were.
Yeah, a lot of them do. I mean, just by doing that simple exercise, we can see the trend in the market. And we could just do something as simple as print that out. We could choose all of those.
Yeah, if you do the 25 per page, go to 100 per page, you really get a real you start to see all the down arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start to see like drop.
Wow, look at all.
Yeah, and the lower we go,
Oh, one
the
of them.
more we're seeing, right? I mean, this is supposed to be, this is starter home territory now, right? 400, 425 starter homes.
I
And
think
they can't sell them.
people still are, their brains are still in COVID prices, and they're like, well, my neighbor sold it for that, so. it's hard to
That
tell.
is an excellent point. And why are they still in the COVID brain?
That's
they
an
haven't-
excellent question.
Because they
They
wish
haven't
they
been
bought
out.
it.
Because they,
Yeah.
They wish they sold in for sure.
Well, yeah, but
But even if you look at earlier this year,
Mhm.
y'all look at the number
True.
of people that are in February brain, forget COVID brain.
you're right.
You know, the pricing there is crazy too. I think we've seen that when we've looked at several properties.
well, they say the public's like 3 months behind, but I feel like
They're 6 months.
yeah, I feel like
If not more.
I feel like it's even more because of the back and
I
forth
agree.
right now.
At least 6 months.
At
But
least
we-
6
We
months.
started seeing it shift really significantly in early spring and March, April.
Yep.
It was shifting, right? And so how do we overcome or how do we convince them and prove to them that the market is not where they think it is? Because they have access to a lot of information, right? And they make their own conclusions. And oftentimes they're not as well informed as a licensed agent and they're not making good conclusions. And what does the media say?
Sky.
Huh?
Sky's falling.
Sky's falling. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it recently. They were totally talking about buyer's market, but they weren't talking about the different pockets. But it's like, and if the media hears that, everybody's just gonna think buyer's market, which I guess in general, most places.
And Julie, to your point, like I think I heard it called micro markets, right? Like we've got these
Yeah.
micro market,
Yeah, yeah.
because even in Beaufort, if you look, I mean, we're looking right here. Certain spots of Beaufort are different than other spots of Beaufort, and even that's an even more micro market there.
Yeah. Well, Lilburn, I had a tough time in Lilburn. I was getting beat out every time. And who'd have thought I was going to be in Lilburn a month ago?
Parkview has turned it around.
That's where it was.
Yeah. So that's a great example of a micro market. I mean, that was the neighborhood to be in when it was built in the 80s. Parkview High School was where you wanted your kids to go to school, especially
University of Park.
they were playing
Yeah.
baseball and football for sure. Brian McCann went there.
Jeff Frank.
Jeff
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah.
McCann went to. What's your school?
Stella? Or no, in Snowville?
Not so.
Over there by the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Not perfect.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
It'll come to us.
Yeah.
The other high school, you mean Brookwood?
Brookwood.
Brookwood.
right.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So that's a great example of micro market. So we can take a quick snapshot like this to show the trends in the market. But if we really want to be known as the economist of choice, we want to dig down deeper and show them the trends. I'm a visual person. I love to see the graph. And we've got all of this information provided for us. And also before we jump into that, again, we're going to have a source for this, but also pay attention to other sources about the market. Something Clark Howard, I heard on the radio yesterday, talking about the percentage of households in the metro Atlanta area that rent versus own. Where would you guys guess that is? I'll tell you, historically said something like 26%.
Well, I guess it's much higher.
I would guess it's 40 something.
It's 46% right now.
Rent?
Yes, that rent instead of own.
Wow.
The barrier of entry has gotten so out of control.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
The affordability
Yeah.
is not there anymore. So one of the graphs that they shared at Mega Camp that I took a picture of was the affordability trend line. And right now, the historical affordability trend line, we are 8.3% above the historical trend line. So on a $400,000 starter home, that means for the average family to be able to afford it, the average family looking for a starter home, it's 8% overpriced. 8% of $400,000, $32,000. That $400,000 home is not going to be affordable for the average person until it gets down to $362,000. Now, part of that is interest rates, so that can help move that line. But part of it is pricing that was driven up during the crazy market when we had appreciation of 25% for 2 years in a row in 2020 and 21. So there's a lot of factors. So having that conversation with our sellers and being able to explain that and explain why your estimate is not accurate, which that's a whole other discussion that we could do another class on. But
The funny thing, my estimate is very low. I don't know why. I wish it was that. I wish my taxes would have listened to me.
yeah, right. When we go to sell, we want it to be high. But if we want to fill our property tax, we want it to be low. So it's interesting when you do look through here. and you see properties that have been on the market, where are we seeing when a price change comes in? Now, we could go look and see exactly when the price changed, but we're not just gonna do that.
History.
I mean, mine's usually 2 weeks. Usually 21.
So, yeah, so there's,
What?
it looks like a couple of months, right?
Except for that one up there is 21. and then
Right.
there's-
What might that tell me? That might be a really motivated seller. There may be an impending event that's driving that price change. Hopefully this is not someone in the office. We won't even look.
But if it is, that means they went in and they said, in 2 weeks, if you don't have a contract, we're going to. You see who it is? Interesting. Yeah.
So if we look at the history here, we'll see it actually came at 21 days. They reduced it $10,000. Well,
Oh, little smart state.
I feel like I've never seen a Mark Spank listing that didn't have a
It
price
did.
reduction.
I just did
I think
that.
that's
Okay.
the hook.
Okay. That's a hook. You're
If
right.
you don't
you're
want
right.
to take our equity stealing instant cash offer, and we're going to
This was like-
oversell you on what we think it'll sell.
They have a program and you sign it that says if we don't get an offer in this much, we're gonna reduce this much, this much, this much.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. It's a little crazy. All right. So now let's jump into InfoStats and start looking at this stuff in detail. So in the product directory, when you sign into FMLS, you're going to come down here to market stats. Again, can you see this page? The InfoSparks? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so this is the page where we can start to pull some of this data, and we can pull it at a high level, and we can also get down to a narrow level as well. First, let's watch a short video on InfoStats instead of me telling you how to use it. Let's watch this video. Love me.
Hello, thanks for taking some time to learn how to work with interactive housing analytics. This tool is made to empower real estate pros to quickly learn about and share local housing data. Let's hit the basics. Start at the Area tab. You can compare up to 4 geographies for study. You can type an area, scroll through the list of available areas, or search by one of the geographic filters. We'll start with one area. Housing variables are located just below areas. All is the default, but let's choose a few specific ones. Note how the chart below the variables adjusts with each choice. You can select one of the options or combine multiple options into a single category. Variable categories can also be separated with a split arrow breakout icon next to each variable name. When split, the chart displays variable segments individually, not combined, which is a nice way to compare differences side by side. No more than 6 categories can appear on a chart. Chart elements can be toggled on and off from the chart's legend. Chart rescaling is automated. Some variables have automatically calculated ranges. Select Custom to create unique ranges for applicable variables. Areas and variables work with metrics. Only one metric can be selected at a time. Some metrics allow you to toggle between median and average values. For descriptions of each metric, please see the tool's user manual. Let's look closer at the chart. Data labels are visible when points in the chart are selected. To the right of the chart are quick facts for the most recent value and year-over-year change for the criteria selected in a collapsible view. The chart's y-axis is derived from the metric. The x-axis is time. Below the chart's x-axis, areas and variable filters are displayed. Chart data can be displayed in multiple formats. For bar charts, the maximum allowable years for historical comparison is 3. Data labels are always visible for bar charts. Let's define our time frame and time calculation. The time frame is simply the amount of time you want to look at, with max being as far back as reliable data exists. For time calculation, you can select monthly or rolling values. Rolling values represent that amount of activity at each data point, so the selected month's total and the 11 months prior. Rolling values are good for smoother trend lines and small sample sizes. Select the print icon to create a printable PDF. Select the share icon for more intriguing options. Start by choosing live or static data. Live charts are exciting because data remains current whenever the chart is accessed upon link refresh. Static charts remain unchanged from the moment they are created. Data is updated once per day, and a new month's worth of data is released on or near the first of the month, depending on the rules governing your tool as noted in the user manual. Choose a sharing option. PDF creates a one-page printable document. Social media and email provides a URL that you can email or share. Embed provides a widget available in multiple formats that can be integrated into a blog or website. CSV provides the chart's raw data in a spreadsheet-ready table. The Start Over button restarts the share dialog without clearing your data. A shared page of live data using social media and email displays a URL that can be viewed in a new window. Again, values on the chart change over
That
time
goes really
in the
fast.
live data view. Your profile info appears at the top along with the provider of the service. Share the chart by copying and pasting the URL into an email or social media tool, or use the internal share options. From this chart view, you can also view and share as other options without going back to the share dialog like PDF, PNG, and CSV.
That's pretty cool.
Let's go deeper into the power of this tool. Add 2 more area tabs. The tool defaults to multi-tab filtering, meaning all areas display the same variables as the active area tab. If you choose a unique set of variables for one area, the chart will apply that variable to all 3 areas. If you choose a different area tab, you can select an entirely different set of variables, but whatever you choose will still apply to all 3 areas. Go back to the first area and note how our original choices were maintained. Now let's unselect the multi-tab filtering icon to analyze areas using different variables for each. Look at how each tab is described differently below the x-axis. To create your own area, select My Areas. You can draw a polygon,
Yeah, you can get really hyper.
or create a circle. Once you're satisfied with your drawing, save it. Give it a moment to think, then select See Stats to go back into the tool. Your area is now saved. For further answers about this unique interactive real estate analytics tool, please check the user manual. That about covers it. Happy researching.
Thank you, fast talking fella.
Was he real or was he AI? I think it was real. Had a picture.
That's a good question. All right, so now let's dig into this a little slower. I don't talk nearly as fast as that fella. So when we're looking at providing some of this data to our seller, what are the things they're going to want to see? And at what level are they going to want to see it?
Current active, they're trying like that, or?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna,
Sales,
Days on market.
yeah, if we're gonna explain to them the market that we're currently in, what are some of the things we're gonna want to look at?
Days on market.
Days on market is a great
And
one.
like you brought
current
up
competition.
the price decrease, the price drops.
Yeah.
which
So-
is competition.
So what else could we share with them in that regard? Starting price versus sell price, right? That'll tell us.
How much
Vendors.
reduction?
Trends.
That's right. Trends, right? And we can do it by area. So we can also do it by price range, right? If we're going to see a client who's got a house that we think is going to sell for around $800,000, do they care what 200 to 349 is doing? So you got to make sure you check these defaults because it defaults to all price ranges. So like in that case, we would want to do $600,000 more. And this is a residential detached, so we don't want attached and townhomes and condos to influence our numbers because that's not applicable. And then, all sizes at, I feel like the price point's really gonna take care of the sizes, right?
Well, and
Well,
the
it-
problem is you got people that don't put the square footage in.
Because-
I was gonna say, it
because
could
they're
be a
not popular.
farm.
Yeah, lots of zeros,
Yeah, but it
Right.
also could be a little house on a big farm.
but could be a little house on a really nice lake lot
True.
as well. But if you're going to an $800,000 house, it's not on the lake. You want the lake properties.
No.
So I would play around
So you do-
with that.
Do you do all sizes or do you?
I'll leave the
Bring it in.
default for that. I make sure I change the price range and the detached, but it would be interesting to do some A/B testing on that to see what it brought in, and then the area. So we can look at cities. So Buford, if we put in Buford, we've got subdivisions we could put in. We have. I wish
We
we
do
could.
it by school?
You
That's-
just click on it.
Did it come up?
Oh,
I was looking for. Yeah, see, it won't let me, it'll let me do it by zip code, city, county, subdivision. I wish it would do it by school system, because that's,
Cause even when you're comparing Mill Creek to Mountain View, it can be some city,
Beaufort City to Seconder.
Yeah,
Beaufort
that's-
City to North Gwinnett.
Beaver City, anything.
It's a big difference. I like that it'll do it by subdivision, because if you find,
And you go to Beaufort High School with 30519
Yes.
zip code.
Yes.
I think there are some, yeah,
There-
yeah. Like over there by the Publix at Hamilton
Well,
Mills.
there's a couple that in Hall County, there's some 305.7s.
Yeah, some up towards Farmington.
Yeah, there's 30542s in Beaufort City schools, yeah.
So there's-
So if we look at that, let's just leave it at Buford for now. And then if we come over here,
yeah, there's not a custom.
and then down here, we have the things we want to see on our graph. So right now, we've got a default to median sales price. We could change that to average sales price. What's the difference?
I don't know, show us.
I will.
I mean, I know the
What's the
difference in
difference
the
between
median,
median and
yeah.
Median is the middle point.
The middle
of all
point.
the prices.
Yeah.
Average is all of it together divided by.
That's exactly right.
Okay, I'd
So,
love to see what it does.
okay, so if we have median right here, so
Marty, yeah.
on January of 25, the median price was 792,158.
Okay.
Now, if we put in there closed sales, we added closed sales to this graph. Oops. The way you had others. To median sales price. And
If you go in FMLS to statistical reports and look at the absorption analysis, you can do by school there.
okay,
So you guys know,
all right, well,
and you can do by like elementary school even if you want.
okay. We'll cover that shortly. All right. All right, so the average sales price in January was 978,451. The median sales price, January, was
Bless you.
792.
Well, there's, bless you.
That is a lot of difference.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh,
It means that there's some really high end homes bringing up that average.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's more higher end homes. Because the median today, to Jay's point, if it's 100 homes, 792 means there's 25 under 792 and 25 above 792. But the average being 900 means
There's a couple,
Most
three,
of
4
them.
million, yeah.
yeah, there's some that are really, really killing the curve. All right. So that's an important number. Closed sales, days on market is another important number. So in Buford in June, July in there. The entire FMLS area was 20, but we don't want that. We want Buford. Does that sound right? 20 days on market?
So,
It doesn't. All right, so for Buford, it was 28 in July. Let's see if there's a difference in cumulative days on market, because that, again, should all those things we talked about earlier, if it went on contract, came out of contract, should be in there. Cumulative is 31, so it's a little higher. So what is that message we want to convey to the sellers? I'll put your house on, who has that 2020, that COVID attitude. If I put your house on the market tomorrow, Thursday, by Sunday, we're not going to have 50 showings and 25 offers. So don't fire me on Monday if your house is not under contract, right? Because the market is telling us we're not there anymore. We're at 31 days.
Gary,
On.
the cumulative is that, if someone takes their house off the market for 30 plus days, is this going to be included in that cumulative or not?
If they have the same listing number, yes. But there's a limit to how long you can fill this.
Which I think is
Yeah,
I thought in order to start the count, you had to withdraw it according to the folks at FMLS.
Yeah, start the counting, yeah.
But
So,
that,
but
that's,
if you withdraw it and put it back on the market, you got a new listing. You don't.
oh, I thought you had to wait a certain amount of time to also.
But what you're talking about too is that it goes pending and then comes back active if it expires and then comes back like that sort of a thing. That's really what contributes to it.
I think short-term
price range.
Yeah. So I believe meeting in it, I've never.
So it has nothing to do with that. It goes active, it goes divided by. Under contract active or.
I need to my brain back on that.
And then if it
It's off the market.
contract runs out, now it's counting over again. If you need a cumulative, it's still counting those days even when it's under contract, correct?
Yes.
Which is why the new construction numbers will really throw that off. So if you come in and you buy a to be built that hasn't broken ground yet, and you're under contract on it, it could be 6 months, and that throws, right, or more, and then that throws the number too.
All right, so let's say we've got somebody trying to decide between Buford and Flowery Branch. Let's say we're working with a buyer now. And they're deciding on these two areas. So we can put Flowery Barnock. We can add that to the graph, and then we can do some comparisons on those. Well, a lot different, huh? And why might you tell a customer there's that big a difference between Buford and Flowery Branch? Schools. Buford City Schools, right?
I mean, that one's an easy.
Right.
Where was it?
But Mill Creek and Mountain View are, I guess, the schools too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
To their own.
100%.
Does it
Some people like
automatically,
Mountain View better.
does it automatically auto-populate your choice to the right, see the Buford and Flowery Branch arrows?
Right here?
Yeah, did you click something to keep those over there? What was it?
No.
Or does it automatically do it?
Yeah, I chose the areas
Uh-huh.
and I chose the topic down here that I wanted
Yeah.
to see. And it populates.
It's just
that.
auto-populates.
Yeah.
Okay. So you like click the
And as you
little
can
box.
see, it was lower in June. It was 22 and 17.
Hmm.
It's gone up 106% and 114% Flowery Branch.
So I just ran one on Hamilton Mill. This is an interesting one. So Hamilton, just using the subdivision and then the city of Tequila. So Hamilton Mill, median days on market is 15. Tequila, 27.
Wow.
Right. So when you just
They're both
get outside of, so when you just get outside of that one, I kept forgetting that you could do neighborhood. schools. So that's why I dove into this,
Yeah.
to take it away from the schools a little bit. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, look at the difference between the median and the average. We look at average cumulative days on market, it's really glaring. Right, 90 and 45. And what if you've got a retired couple? Who's like, well, I don't care about schools, but they like a house in Buford.
Sorry.
There's a similar price house in Flowery Branch.
Right.
Which one should I buy?
I don't know, how old are they?
And what are their, what are,
Depends on
They're
how
old
close-
like me.
what are, yeah, what's the rest of?
Yeah, see?
Close to the hospital.
Educating clients. I mean, that's a great point to live.
Take care of themselves.
Is, yeah, you're gonna get a huge tax exemption when you qualify for that,
That's the magic word when you qualify.
right? Your house, which one is gonna appreciate more?
The way it's trending right now, yes.
Yeah, the way it's trending right now.
They got a $65 off savings.
Right.
Well, you said something, Gary.
Can never guarantee future.
You're not gonna have up the hills. You have the same house. You're gonna typically. The house is gonna be less than the fire branch than it is in the village. So you're gonna pay for that appreciation 10, 20 years ago now, and if you're buying it, crack it.
Well, let's say they found a house, the one in Flowery Branch is gonna be small.
Oh, you're talking about this price.
Yeah.
You're not talking about house, but
Yeah,
I didn't understand.
found to the,
Same price.
they're definitely gonna be different houses.
Oh, people, yeah.
The viewpoint, there's that premium that you pay to be in Beaufort City.
Pebblebrook.
But helping them and having these stats. That very point, if you're gonna qualify for the exemption in a couple of years,
It's insane.
maybe buy the Beaufort one.
And these are great conversations to have with our clients regardless, because because look, we all know that the buyers and sellers are all looking at Zillow anyway, right? Or they're looking at what, oh, well, this estimate says it's this and this.
Yeah.
But creating, to your point, that complete picture of what that client needs is much more than just a Zestimate number, or even if we run just a straight up comp number on it.
Yeah.
Do they get the tax exemptions? Do they get the whatever? Or are they looking for this to be a long-term investment? So does that make more sense? But having those other conversations, I think helps make us the economist of choice, the local economist, because we're looking at the total picture. We're not just looking at here's this cost versus this cost.
And then let's take somebody buying their first home, let's go to the opposite end. How's that conversation? Is this gonna be your first investment property? I know you're buying it to live in it right now.
Or you only get to stay for 3 years,
Yeah.
because your family's gonna grow.
Yeah. Or you transfer every so many years with your job.
Right.
But what's the best way to build wealth in this country? Real estate. Is a Beaufort City Schools rental property much more attractive from an investment perspective than Flowery Branch rental property?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is crazy because that conversation wasn't the same a few years ago, because you could still buy into it. Right? And so that was an easy thing to do. I mean, for example, Jefferson, my city taxes for school taxes were like $2,500, just the school portion of it.
Yeah.
But if you lived outside of Jefferson and you transfer in, it's $1,000. So it's cheaper. So it's $1,000 tuition essentially to buy into Jefferson schools. So it's cheaper to live,
Unless you have
cheaper school tax, unless you have 4 kids. I got 1 or 2 kids.
Per kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like Beaufort City too, like 2 per kid.
Yeah.
You know, Bufort's cut it off unless you start early or you run a 4.2 or can bench press a Chevy. Then you've got they have a lot of openings. But I mean, every
I could
school
do none of those
right? Yeah, I have none of this. But it's an interesting conversation because it was so, when you had the freedom to go, hey, yeah, no problem, you can transfer in. The Flowery Branch clearly was the better investment there, right? Because you weren't worried about that. You could still rent in and do the things, and you could get more house for your money. You could have those conversations. But as that school situation changes year to year, essentially, the conversation is to change.
So if I ask you, well, Justin, what's the long-term outlook for Beaufort City School?
Don't ask me that, because when I was growing up, Buford was the projects and the trailer parks. So,
Exactly, right.
you know, I don't know. At what point does it peak? Right? So that's where I would look at it. Yeah. From an investment perspective. I mean, I know it's going to be a good investment, but you know, I've got friends of mine that have houses in Buckhead that can't sell. It peaked, right? At one point you could basically just back the brakes truck up and you could get whatever you wanted out of it. But now they can't sell.
Now you can't walk around Buckhead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And no matter what some of the areas do, I mean, it's micro pockets for sure in those type of areas. But so I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to have that conversation for sure.
Well, what's the longevity of, I guess, the 65,000 or I meant 69 million? What's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
longevity
Yeah.
of the investment of a $65 million stadium? Obviously, the area is still, you know, pouring into that infrastructure there. So what does that look like long term?
Well, and what's the pushback too, right? Like what's the breaking point of the buyer of the homeowner where they go, okay, this isn't worth it anymore.
Yeah.
It turns out that Flowery Branch is a great school, whatever, right? Or whatever.
Well,
it is.
that's
That's just it. A lot
Yeah.
of us around it are getting stronger.
Yeah. You put your faith in the city of Beaufort schools or Hall County schools or Gwinnett County schools, who have a much larger area to worry about than just Beaufort City.
Right.
Right. I think the long term is that's going to be a much better experience for kids. Not that the others are bad.
Right.
It's just clearly Beaufort has a never ending stream of money with to the point, all these warehouses
Yeah.
that they're building and collecting.
You're exactly right.
You see Jefferson's in the same boat.
But their statistics, I mean, they're off the charts. The scores are really there, so it's not just the facilities and all that.
Well, that attracts
Yeah.
parents to put their
More
students there.
scholarship and their scholarship money too. It's amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of things.
So we've got other things to help them see what the market's doing. So I like this one, percent of original price. So that's pretty flat from November through now, right? It's taken a big dip here starting in July. 97.6, 96. What's the benchmark for your pretty good agent at pricing homes?
If it sells at the price,
Okay.
I'm very good.
I've heard 98%.
98%.
98 or higher.
98.
You're doing a pretty good job. And you know the market. Now, you also have these clients that you tell, I think your house is going to sell between 500 and 520. And they're like, well, let's try 550 and see what happens. Right? Everybody ever run into that? Yeah, we all run. And then, you know, we've got the conversations to have regarding that and the long-term outcome of that, end up getting less than the 500 to 520. But these, especially when the graphs illustrate these dips, when did the market start turning from the nice COVID market? That's pretty apparent right back here, right? Middle of 2022, we got down to 93% in Beaufort.
But Gary, that's a lot of the interest rate conversation, right? Like the interest rate, I heard a speaker say interest rates have literally been at around this 6 to 7 since the end of 22. So people keep talking about interest rates are on the rise. No, they've been pretty flat literally since the end of 2022.
I mean, I think they got down to 6.5 for a minute.
Yeah, but still,
They're back up to 6 3/4.
Yeah, I mean, since that period of time.
7 and 8. And so has the percent of sales. Has been, I mean,
But that's also a pretty quick
That's
correction.
96 to 100.
Yeah.
And it did, well, we learned the price.
Right, yeah. But that's a quicker correction than a lot of other things based on that, where we were in that time.
Yeah. And then what we're seeing now is this shift that we're talking about now coming into play here starting in July, when we're seeing that the market has kind of come to a halt, right?
Do you feel like that's summer vacation, or do you think it'll start trending back up, or you think?
So-
What do y'all think?
I personally felt usually the summer vacation started, the summer halt started in August.
Yeah, the schools are starting back in July.
Yeah, I feel like.
Right.
Schools are starting earlier than they used to. I felt like in the third week of June, like a week before the 4th of July holiday, is when we saw it this year. And that's the earliest I've felt it in my 10 years.
But the schooling of that too, though, right? So that's when your summer schools are kind of getting over with, like you've got that last month of time.
Now, last
I
night
think you're gonna see
vacation,
that shift from that.
ready to go back to school.
Because I've noticed.
But so now that they're back in school, we usually see an uptick. Back when it was August was the slow period. We usually see September.
We just saw it on Tuesday.
Start
the
picking up.
stats that they posted.
Exactly.
Sure.
So hopefully when we see this next month, that's starting to trend in the other direction. But until interest rates come down significantly, I think we're going to see it still along this trend line. That looks to be about 98%, which is where we want to be anyway. Let's see. New
What is the
listings.
shows per listing? That doesn't,
Shows to fit. Oh yeah, it shows to fit.
well, there's shows for, depending on who's pro.
Shows.
Yeah. How many showings?
Okay, so you can actually see.
Sure.
Mhm.
So, and you would expect what we've seen, those starting to trend up. And they are starting to trend up, right? So now in Flowery Branch, it's 7 showings. The median is 7. 12 in Buford to go pending. The average is 10 and
And
16.
that's for all price ranges.
That's for all price
That's
ranges.
good to see too.
That's right. If you get into your pockets, I think it definitely changes.
Yeah. If I go up to the higher end of the market, am I still in Buford?
That's far
Different
from-
Then
Wow, look at the difference.
look at the difference.
It's half as many showings.
It is.
So what?
So what's this telling me?
Yeah, that's my
That's
question.
a good question.
It's telling me that the people that can afford the more expensive homes aren't as sensitive to the higher rates. And so our buyer pools and the higher price points are not doing as bad as the people where the affordability index really impacts
It's interesting.
down at the starter level, right?
But then you get people who
That is
moved
interesting.
to California here. Say that again.
So they got, so when you're in that upper price point,
Which one? Right now, we're at the starter.
yeah, right now you're the starter and the showings are up to 13. and
Right now we're here.
17.
If we change it back to the higher, it's about half that.
Yeah. So, and they're not going to, they're not house searching as much as our beginner buyers are doing.
That's
We
true,
see that
too.
with our buyers, right?
Yeah.
Even the guys that are on the lower end are going, oh, we want to go look at this house. Let's go look at this house. Let's go look at this house. The upper price point, they know what they're looking for. They've got the money to say, this is what we want. This is what we're going to go look at. We're getting fewer showings before they get pending.
That buyer pool is not as impacted
Right.
by the economic factors that are impacting. They're not as sensitive to the interest rate.
Why, help me understand, why does that? I don't understand how that is the answer. I understand what you're saying. But the 17 showings is there any other reason why that there would be that many more showings than the upper range? Is it just, there's more buyers? Is that saying there's more buyers?
There's more buyers in the upper end. because they're going off the market fast.
I thought when you go bust, there's less showings.
Yeah, because they're going under contract faster.
Yeah.
It's taking less showings
To go into contract.
to get to pending. So there's a bigger buyer pool. Well, there's more, it may not be bigger, but it's more active.
What'd you say, Liz? Probably
I said, I bet it's more days though.
Well, let's see.
But
Let's see. Days on market. Been doing average. So 70
You also change the price
in the 385 to 506, 33. And then if we go to 507 or more, 62 and 42. It's lower,
It is.
but not significant.
Yeah.
Not as big
but
as-
in typical, it's the opposite.
That's right.
So
It is.
That's right. When houses are affordable for more people, there's much more activity on the lower end of the market because more people can afford a house on the lower end of the market than the upper end of the market. Well, because the upper end of the market is not as sensitive to the high interest rates. Holy cow, how many cash deals do we have right now? A lot.
I've got a cash deal coming at 1.3 million.
I sold the lake house last fall for $2.3 million in cash. This guy was a commercial real estate agent. I'm like,
Is he
I'm
single?
on the wrong side. Fortunately, he's married.
I don't
Yeah, I mean, your house went up 50% in value in 2020 and 21.
I've been working with a buyer and because we were looking at a 1.6 million, yeah, money cash, make it happen. We ended up, we're taking a step back, but I mean, we made an offer, you know, and the price wasn't the problem, you know,
Yeah.
just trying to make sure you felt like you got a good deal. You know?
I see more cash deals. than I've seen.
2.3, that's a lot of cash. I think million.
And this was the second home. This was a lake home for the weekends.
Jeez.
Bless him.
No, listen.
All right, we're about on our time limit. Everybody kind of understand how to use this? You can print these graphs, you can save these graphs. I take these to my listing presentations to help tell that story because it's one thing me talking about it, blabbing about it. It's another when I can show you the graphs and I can reference where the information came from.
What are the main ones you do? Which graphs? Like,
So I'm always going to do days on market,
okay.
and I'm always going to do the percent of original price, because that's going to show the trend that and a lot of agents too are still behind on pricing. They're still pricing homes like we're in that February market, and it's a lot different than it was.
If you want to do like a fast stat too, if you go up to the top
Yep, there's
screen there,
fast
show
stat.
them as a fast stat real quick.
Yep. So fast stats cover some of the basic categories. So you can click on like Hall County. You can pick a specific zip code.
Go click the time period over there too. You can click the time period.
Yep.
Okay, that's pulling up July, so it's good year over year. It's a really good graph.
Yeah. Just in this zip code, which you can see how much it covers. So it gives you a lot of good things in one snapshot. New listings, pending sales, closed sales, days on market until sale, median and average, percent of list price received. So
Different. 40 to 25,
yeah,
42 to
that tells a story, right?
Yeah.
And then that gets them to come around thinking, okay, well, maybe I think my house is worth 600, but right now it's not going to sell for 600. And so now we got to plug back into their motivation. Why are you selling? You have somewhere you have to be in a period of time. Are you looking at a tough financial situation? Are you moving to get closer to grandchildren?
Well, that's when you've got the three price points, right? Like we're desperate to sell.
Yeah.
we're ready to go. We need to go for whatever reason, but we're not desperate.
Yeah.
And, I just want to put a sign in my yard to see what happens. Right? Like that seems to be the 3 price points.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll use these to figure out where we're at in those price points.
Yeah.
Julie, you asked about which ones to take. I just took, after talking to Leslie when she was here.
Yeah.
That, the shows to pending. And that was a very good conversation piece.
She uses a lot of active listings, but I don't use much active, so I'll come down. with that.
Well, let's have that conversation. What do the solds tell you?
Just what history appraised for.
Where the market was?
Where the market
Right,
was.
history.
What's the active and pending tell you?
Where it is.
Where it is.
So you use both of those.
I do. Because
They're in the neighborhood, but
Check them up or does
when I'm looking.
Yeah, no, you need to use them for sure. I've actually
I
been
show
getting,
one, but when I do my CMA, I don't use active.
I don't in my CMA.
So that's what I'm saying, she uses them in her CMA.
Who does? Well, you can't argue with her.
I know that's what I'm.
That's true.
I'm
It's changed
doubting
since I-
myself, trying to figure
So
that out.
I use just sold in my comparables, but I also say, here's where the market was.
because that's what they're looking at, right? That when your,
Right.
your sellers are looking at it, they're looking at what is their active
Which
competition.
was.
I show them.
this past year.
And I use a line.
Do that.
I forget who shared this with me. But I tell them, I can tell you exactly when your house is gonna sell. Would you like to know that?
Yes, I would.
It's gonna sell when it's perceived as the best value on the market.
That's a great
That's a
answer.
good.
That's a- that's
Here
really good.
is your competition. And I print listing and I print the pictures.
Pictures are very important.
Yes. And we go through them.
Black and white.
Color.
Oh.
And yeah.
Gotta spend the money, Sean.
Yeah.
And
Shy
sometimes,
color printer, come on.
depending on how tricky it is,
I think
if there's a house that they feel like is whatever, we will literally schedule a showing and I'll go look,
Yeah.
we'll walk through the other in the property.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if they'll have that honest conversation, if I say, okay, here's competition number one,
Because
is your house superior? Is your house equal to this? Or, and I don't share, I black out or I redact. I redact the price.
Mhm.
And, or is your house similar? And then if we go through those and they have an honest conversation, and then I go back and I tell them the prices. Now, if the price that you said you wanted is your house the best value on the market, it becomes pretty clear what, if they want to sell their house, what they should sell it. And then I've also it's a pricing decision we all made together. It's not Gary saying, hey, I'm the professional realtor, I'm the smart one here. Here's what
Right.
you're gonna sell for. We've arrived there together and they were involved. It wasn't me just dictating it. And I find that if they can have that honest evaluation of their competition, we arrive pretty close.
Yep.
And, does it work every time? No, but it works enough that I'm really for it. Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks.
So Gary,
All right, guys, any questions?
Way to go,
Thanks for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have
everyone.
a great rest of the day. Oh, Liz, what is that thing you were talking about?
It's on the.
Oh.
InfoStats,
so do
right?
you two?
Yeah, if you go,
If I go into Matrix,
yeah, all right.
go to stats.
Cause I was, actually, I know I've done it. No, go to like,
16 weeks.
homepage with the MLS
Once
and go up
video, you know, afterwards.
and just click,
That video.
statistical report
Okay.
and go to absorption analysis.
Color.
You gotta switch the words. Yeah.
Like, well, you know.
And
I print color on the front. I don't print all of the interior color.
yeah, and you can do it by school.
I'm gonna ask.
Okay.
It's not laid out the same at all,
Stuff. Because he.
like when you look at the report,
Yeah.
but it is helpful.
This class.
Like for instance, my listing right now is in Beaufort, but it's not even city.
Only because we're like.
So like it doesn't help me
Yeah.
to compare
So is that the same tier?
this one here.
It's so important.
So there's no, you know what I mean? I need to compare one here.
Two
Yeah.
sessions.
Yours coming up?
Six.
Oh, yeah. No, excited for it. That's what it's in favor.
Okay.
1 hour is covering.
I know.
This
I
is
know.
pretty cool.
I know, I was looking today, it was a,
Oh, this is really cool. 'cause
I was
you got
looking,
Buford
yeah.
schools by the zip code.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
So it is, and by, now you can't manipulate things much,
Yeah.
but it's very
Well, then,
helpful.
you know,
Yeah.
Take care, man. Talk to you soon.
they're-
5?
I mean, I wasn't. We moved to our neighborhood a year,
That's what happens.
So he's saying,
a year, it was been here.
we also need to
I
read
got
upside down.
Yeah.
So we're,